All right, here we go, my friends. We are going to look at the market and try to calm some nerves today. Hope you're having a good start to your week. I know if you're out working this morning that it's probably not the place you want to be, but that's okay. It's good that you have a job. We can wake up every morning feeling blessed that we've got another day to live. It doesn't have to all be doom and gloom. Time is the only thing you can't get back. So live your life to the fullest. That doesn't mean go out and drink and party and do drugs. That means enjoy the fresh air, get outside into nature, things like that. So anyway, a little rant about getting outside. Here is what we're looking at on crypto Twitter is a bunch of bearish people, sorry. You're going to have a few people here that are actually level-headed about things and don't let emotions get to them. And that's not a call out to anybody that has been emotional lately. It's a wake-up call to understand that sometimes you can let emotions get to you and affect your decisions. And really, you should be trusting yourself based on logic, not on emotions, or based on the information that you have in front of you. So, it's funny, you got Elon talking about Floki here, and Floki was just starting to move up yesterday. I don't know what it's doing today. Maybe it hasn't done much. But anyway, here we got Shawred saying, I hate CT when everyone starts worshiping the same few people instead of using their own brain. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's probably the biggest difference between this cycle and the last one. Everyone's a follower now, waiting for someone else to tweet their opinion first. Nothing against Kobe, respect for him where it's due, but it's insane people are seeing people ask him, wow, I had no idea they were asking this, ask him how to get a girlfriend, things like that. It's the same thing with people on Twitter or people on TikTok, things like that. They're those celebrities now, where in the past it was just Hollywood. Now you're seeing people like this are being idolized, and you should never idolize somebody. You can look up to them and want to have some of the same qualities that they have, but you can work up to those same qualities. Think about what you're chasing too, though. Okay, let's see. I'm just kind of looking through some things here on X. It's not that important because I'm going to show you some things on chart. I do actually like this view that this person has, Mags. I don't know that we're going to make it to 230K. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I do think we can get near 200K. But 150K would be the first place we want to look for possible top. So, I do like what Henrik's saying here. One of the things that I think is the most important thing to watch for is unemployment rate. We've started getting our rate cuts. If unemployment was to spike along with that, then that would indicate the top of the market. I don't know what it's at currently. Let's see. What is he saying here? We're late cycle. Yeah, that's true. We're probably late cycle, or the next top is probably near, but I don't think it's in yet. Yeah, I don't know what the unemployment's at currently. Maybe I actually need to look that up. I'm going to look it up on my other screen. It says 4.3. Yeah, so 4.3 is nothing yet. I would say it's time to start getting more worried around 6%. But it can skyrocket pretty quick, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. So anyway, let's jump into the charts. I'm just going to talk about Bitcoin and some other factors like the M2 money supply and gold, and then we'll just probably wrap it up with that. I'll do another video later on like short-term trading, things like that. So I really like the 2-day chart. It's one of my favorite charts to use, and that's what I'm going to look at here. Let's start out with market cap USDT dominance. The most important thing about this chart is that it will tell you, if people are taking stables, selling for profits off of exchanges, sending it back to their wallets. So if you're selling to USDT, that means it should go up, right? And if it goes up, then that's bearish. Currently, it's just kind of in a triangle formation. There's really nothing to see here. If we look at market cipher down here, and we put some lines, and this is basically a bear flag, as far as momentum goes. You'll see the same thing back here. Same thing happened. So all that's happening is you're getting these moments of where it pumps up and then it comes down and then it pumps up again, and it's just tightening and tightening. So what you want to watch for is, if this is just technical analysis 101, if you get a break above and it holds, if it break above and then it retests that and actually holds it, then yeah, that's bearish. But if well, let's just say a couple scenarios here. So if you come up above here, which I think it could come down first regardless, but if you do happen to come up here and it does this and does that, then yeah, that's bearish. But if you do this and then it falls back through and then rejects here, then it's probably, well, it's bearish for USDT dominance, but that's actually bullish for the crypto market. So it can happen either way, right? You just have to give it time to develop. So let's say it does something like this, comes down, that's bullish for crypto. Or if it does this, fake out, back up, then that's bearish. Any of those scenarios are possible. This scenario here could even work out to be something like a final blow off top, and then it gets bearish. So, both people can be right. You've got people saying that things look bearish, people saying they expect things to keep going up, and both people can be right. But all the liquidity resides, for altcoins especially, all the liquidity resides above where the price action is. If you are a market maker and you saw this and you knew that the neon areas were, all the areas where there were people that took shorts, why wouldn't, now you've come all the way down, you've grabbed all this liquidity. There was a bunch right here that got swept right there. And now this is like, there's nothing here hardly. There's some longs that are built down here. There's some shorts, but this is just like really short-term time frame. On the medium time frame horizon, you got a lot of liquidity you can go up here and grab if you want it, and market makers usually do want it. So, I do believe shorts are going to get liquidated if they don't close their position soon. As things come back up, they're going to get liquidated if they don't have their positions closed. And we were seeing some people get liquidated last night just from Bitcoin. So who knows? It could be started, but we're going to take it a day at a time. Which, by the way, there's no sell signals yet. Not saying that this is the end-all, be-all website, CoinGlass, for the bull market peak signals. But so far, nothing has triggered. It's saying to keep holding. So let's see. Bitcoin dominance. This is really, Bitcoin dominance is not, well, all these indicators are lagging indicators, but Bitcoin dominance is just a result of altcoins going up against Bitcoin. That's it. It's just saying, okay, is Bitcoin dominant, or are the altcoins dominant? And we got this huge move down, right? And then now we're looking to see if it's going to try to recover some of this wick, which it could. It's definitely possible. But what I'm seeing currently is like a bear flag. And so if this plays out, then we're likely going to see this roll over at some point. It's kind of like this triangle right here. It's just in a different shape, right? So if this comes up and then starts pushing up like that, then that's bearish for crypto. And then maybe you get some kind of rejection there. Or if this comes down, rejects here and comes down, then that's bullish. And I do believe it is going to fall off the face of the earth at some point, just like it did here. It's going to fall much further, just like it does every cycle. It is bearish currently. That's red money flow. There is a bearish divergence there. So, we'll see. I mean, to me, this looks more bearish than what Bitcoin does. People are saying Bitcoin looks bearish. I don't really see it yet. I mean, we need to give it some time first. And I'm going to show you how, or I'm going to show you something here in a second that might make you think, well, yeah, maybe it does have further to push up. So that's those two. If we're looking just at Bitcoin here, and I'll make it bigger just for Bitcoin, on the 2-day chart, actually, I want to bring up the RSI on this as well, just to take one quick look at it. So yeah, I mean, you are getting lower highs, sure. But, RSI is basically, and I could do this on a weekly to make it even more obvious. It's basically still got this area of support. And I mean, it's just a triangle, and there's no, maybe the price action is not a triangle, but the momentum is in a triangle currently. And so you would have to see this thing break below 50 RSI and retest it to know for a fact that the bear market has begun. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. Look, you're still in the green here, right? On the weekly. You're still on the green here on the 2-day. And you're just barely into the red now on this, on the daily. But I mean, I'm not seeing any, there's just nothing here yet. There's just not enough information yet. Now, if you were back here and you saw something like this, where you had a bullish divergence as price was coming down, then this gives you some clear, a clear indication that momentum was coming back in. Or if you were way up here in this price action and you started seeing momentum come down like this, where you have a red dot below and money flow was starting to roll over, then yeah, that's clear. I mean, that's really clear what was happening there. But tell me, if we're looking at this right here, where, I mean, I'm not seeing it. Not yet anyway. Yeah, you got a lower high on the red dots here, but you got a higher high on the green. So it's just a triangle until further notice. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. It's sitting as support or close to support right now. Could revisit the bottom of that wick. It's just indecision at this point. There's really nothing going on. So now that we've seen that, let me show you this, and this is what we're going to end with. So if I take this off, of course, we just got, Bitcoin price action. This is Bitcoin you're looking at with the candles. And this is with the M2 overlaid. So M2 global liquidity. And I think I have this on it's on a 78-day offset, which I think does a pretty good job of, it does a pretty good job of showing. I mean, we could try to overlay it perfectly. I don't know if the 108-day works better. Let's see. Did it shift? There it goes. Okay. Let me just verify this for a second here. That's pretty close, I guess. Let's see, that's down, that's up. Yeah, it's fairly close. Okay, so if we look at it this way, and we're looking here into the future, right? Then we're basically saying, okay, and this makes sense as far as the price action right now. I mean, the price action is just really boring at this level. And that's kind of what you see here. That M2 did a little bit of a dip after making this move. So here's M2 going up, here's Bitcoin going up, and it tops, has a little dip, comes up here. Let me just check one thing on this other. I don't know, they're both pretty good, they're close. But what you're looking at for future price action is just more boring, right? I don't know how long this is going to last. It could last into November-ish. Yeah, something like that. So mostly sideways, and this kind of goes along with what I'm seeing with alts. If I bring up our Discord, I've got this volume strategy we've been using, and I've noticed that a lot of these, like, we're getting early signals on when tokens are pumping, and we're getting signals when tokens are doing like over 100% in one day. And if that happens, then I'm looking for a short, of course. But if this 30% pump happens, then I'm looking for a long. Sometimes it'll dip after that 30%, and then it'll just keep going. It'll just go like crazy. Bless was one of them recently. So the reason why I bring this up is all of this sideways price action is allowing altcoins to find a bottom and kind of catch up and prepare to move up, which I hope that happens. It seems like it's going to happen to me, but I know a lot of people are doubting it. And that really, just really quick, being that people are fearful and being that people think there's not going to be an altcoin run, that makes me think even more that there will be one, because the herd is usually wrong. So something to consider anyway. All right, so M2 money supply looks like we might just get some sideways action for a while and then pump out of here and maybe have one more pump after that as well. I mean, I don't know that this thing's going to hit 210K. You know, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I think the next level is 140 to 150K that we should watch. And we will be watching in our group for sure, watching it closely. So let's look at gold now. And I'm going to turn off M2. Like this color. Let me just make this one. Oh, that's not what I need. I don't know. We'll just make this one that color. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this one, look how well this one's matching. I've got this on a 90-day offset. So peak, 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 and then just some sideways here and just ready to go. This shows early November for the bottom of this. So let's just see how it plays out. I mean, I don't, why is this thing not moving? Now, definitely don't pay attention to this because I don't think that we're going to hit 500K. Well, I mean, we might by this year. It looks like it's showing middle of 2027 or something. You know, maybe it could hit that by then. But, you know, what we're looking at, this would be 150K by the middle of next year or early, let's see, maybe Q2. That's a possibility. I think that's what I have this on as a 90-day. Yeah, 90-day. I wonder what 60-day would look like. Okay, 60-day looks like that. Yeah, that's not too far off either. Let's see. No, it's not perfect. But what I was curious about, let's see, that put us at 200K. Yeah, that's still like Q2 of next year, end of Q2 or something, start of Q3. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's going to play out. You know, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I think it is interesting that these things are going up with the same type of offset. You know, they're still going up, both M2 and gold. So, you know, a lot of people are talking about gold shift from, you know, from gold to crypto. It happens pretty often. You know, people want to discount it, but I mean, it's hard to argue with the results that, you know, you had a top back here on gold. Of course, gold mostly just went sideways at that point, but yeah, I'm kind of losing the how to get this thing back where it was. Okay. Kind of losing the narrative there. Yeah, so, you know, bottom here, bottom here. Let's see if I can shift this. Yeah, 90 days pretty close. So anyway, you know, end of October, start of November, looks like we may get another push up. You know, there's always, you should always have an invalidation, right? I mean, maybe it won't, you know, maybe it won't work out. Invalidation would probably be, and I could actually bring up some other things here to help us, but yeah, so about right here is the low point of control. We're sitting right at the point of control right now at 111K as far as volume goes. So here's the level or the range that you're looking at currently along with the midline. So if we get rid of this and we zoom in, you know, rejection there, our bottom was there. We're currently rejecting or sitting just below the midline. So if you get above the midline, that's bullish. If you reject here, that's bearish. You know, just short-term time frame anyway. If for some reason you come below this line and you know, retest it and reject again, then that's bearish. And you know, the flip side is true as well. If this gets above here and you know, find support at 126, then you're ready to go. So this is what you would want to watch currently, but it looks just, it's sideways right now. Anybody claiming that they know which way anything is going to go right now isn't telling you the truth. For short term, it's hard to determine, you know, what this thing is going to do, but long term, midterm, I do believe it's going to go up. So anyway, just think, as I said at the beginning, think objectively, don't think subjectively. We want to look at the facts. We don't want to look at what the emotions are telling us. And we definitely don't want to listen to other people's emotions. We've got enough going on in our life that, why are we following other people on X? Why do we even care what they have to say? Let's just take it a day at a time. Let's see what happens with the price action. And none of this financial advice, you don't even have to listen to me, but I'm giving you some things to think about that you can study for yourself and come to your own conclusion. And I would always say that, all I care about is that you come to your own conclusion, and that's it. All right, y'all have a good day, and we'll try to do another one of these sometime this week.